Good morning. So I'm driving, so you're not going to get all my eye contact right now, but I have some things I wanted to say. A person that's super close to me was dating somebody, and she realized that the person she's dating had some white privilege and was acting pretty entitled, and also said some passive-aggressive racist stuff. So she is a woman of integrity, so she actually called her out on it. Gently, kindly, sensitively, said something about it. Subsequently, the woman ghosted her, and she was pretty upset about it. She called me 3 times yesterday, which is not normal, and she was upset. And the truth of the matter is, that woman is not the right one for her, obviously, because they don't have the same ideals, they don't have the same values, they don't believe the same thing about white privilege and Black Lives Matters and race and implicit bias and all those things that are happening in the world that, most white people are racist to some degree. It's true. It sucks. I have 7 black children, and I've dated black men most of my life. And now, of course, I date women and white women, but I also, and this is me appropriating something, but I've always joked around about having an inner black woman, which is also some bullshit for me to even say. But my point being is that I hate admitting that parts of me are entitled and racist, and as hard as I try, I'm always going to need to try harder, because I was raised with privilege. I was raised with entitlement. I was raised with more privilege because just by virtue of my skin. Just that. I didn't have tons of money, and I raised my kids with lots of money, so it's not the socioeconomic thing that gave me my privilege, but the fact that shit's gonna be easier for me anywhere I go just by virtue of me being a white woman. I can go into any place and I won't be questioned or suspected of being a thief. I won't be treated differently. I won't have 10 different assumptions packed behind whoever is dealing with me with their behavior, because that's what happens. Is white people have all these unpacked biases that they don't deal with. Like, it's okay to be talking about an experience, and then you have to distinguish that this was a kind old black woman. You wouldn't distinguish if it was a kind white woman. So it's those things that we assume we have to distinguish between a color of somebody's skin in their treatment of us. Like, oh, you were so shocked that she was a black woman that treated you so kindly. Would you be so shocked if it was a white woman that treated you so kindly? Probably not. And that's part of the biases that we just don't even realize we have. We come from this place of privilege that heteronormity is the norm, and that white color and white experience is the norm, and it's not. And this really wasn't going to be about racism, but my talks always just kind of ramble, and then I follow my spirit, and that's where we ended up. What I really wanted to talk about was the fact that this person who was disturbed that she got ghosted by this passive-aggressively racist person. And the truth is, she doesn't even want her, but she doesn't want to be rejected by her. And that's what I wanted to speak about, is that feeling inside of us. And maybe it's just inside of me, but I suspect I'm not isolated in this experience, that we stay in relationships for much longer than we should, because we're scared of being rejected. We feel like once somebody says they don't want us, or they ghost us, or they break up with us, historically, I've worked my ass off to get that person back. For what? I didn't even want them. I just didn't want to be rejected, because I had this story going on inside my head and inside my heart that if I'm dumped or move on from a relationship that I know in my heart and in my body and in my every part of my being that it's not right. But I couldn't walk away because it felt like I was being rejected, even if I made the original choice. That comes back to my own values. Me feeling like I'm enough to walk away, that the right one will be there, or if she's not there, then I still deserve to be treated better than I was. And even if I am rejected, holding myself to a certain standard and a certain value and knowing that I'm enough, and that if somebody rejects me, it's okay. It truly has nothing to do with me. It's not personal. It's just we're not a right fit. And they can make it personal and they can make it mean, or I can. Either way. I mean, I'm obviously very capable of that too. But it's important that we value we honor our values. It's important that we honor what is important to us. It's important that we honor what we value, our principles, our ethics, what our spirit needs to feel loved and cherished. And if somebody isn't right for us, it's not a good idea to keep chasing after them just because we don't want to be alone or don't want to be rejected. So, message for today is check your fucking privilege, because every person with white skin has some fucking privilege and has some kind of bias, has some kind of racism going on. You think you don't, and I hope we get to a point where that's the truth, but right now that's not the truth. And we've got a long ways to go. Secondly, value yourself. Love yourself. Honor your beliefs, your values. Honor what you want. And know that it's okay to not be with somebody. And that's not a personal rejection of who we are. It's an embracement of who we are. It's saying, I value myself and I value you, and we don't fit good together, and there's nothing wrong with you and there's nothing wrong with me. It's just that we don't fit. So there's my message for the day. Keep it juicy. Maybe later I'll talk about my Let's Keep It Juicy relationship, where my woman moved in with me and how that's going since she injured herself. Till next time, keep it juicy.